Not your average tabletop. Woohoo!
Welcome to Not Your Average Tabletop. I'm Zach,
And I'm Pepper.
and we're back with another episode of Take My Money, where we look at some of the current crowdfunding board game campaigns out there and just give our thoughts of them. We mostly pick ones that we at least have a little bit of interest in, or else
Yeah.
ones that kind of have a larger uh, kind of funding at the moment. So for a
Yep.
lot of
Yep.
backers, just to take a look at them and see kind of if we can figure out why. Maybe if it's something that doesn't look interesting to us, why are these people backing this? But maybe it deserves our money. Maybe we're missing something.
Yep.
But
Yep. Yeah, we have been
yeah,
convinced on a few of these, more than we'd like to admit, since we started doing this series, I will say.
that is true. Because yeah, I'd say going into this, didn't back too many, maybe a couple a year or so, 2 to 3 maybe. But I think this year already probably backed at least 3, but there were, I mean, I know for me, it's been a couple games that I would have eventually gotten if I didn't back them,
Yep.
kind of
Yep.
from Garfield
That's true.
Games and the recent Unmatched one, and some
That's
Marvel
true.
United content. So some things I probably would have gotten either way.
At least
But
those are established and you already know games in that series. So,
right,
yeah.
but yeah,
Not too
so
bad.
this
It's not bad. We don't have a problem with that.
no, not at all. But yeah, this week I think we're doing 6 different projects, 5 of which are Kickstarter and 1 game found.
Oh,
So we'll
lonely game found.
start off with a pretty popular game uh, that I would not have expected this kind of
No,
content. So
that
go
is
go away, Pepper. I know which one you want to talk about. That's how you have it first.
yes. Yes, I was like, we got to
Tell
kick it
us
off with
everything.
a bang. Um, yeah, so Santorini is a kind of abstract game that I'm a fan of. I don't know if you're as big a fan of it, which is kind of sad because I think I got that a few birthdays back and haven't gotten to play it nearly as much as I've wanted. But it is a really great game, and they released a Santorini New York, which is a different map as well as a few different mechanisms, higher player count, and now a cooperative version, as well as I think there's some campaign stuff in here as well, which are two things that I would have never guessed to come in a Santorini game.
I
But yeah,
agree.
so pretty much this is you have your little workers here and you move one on a turn and then build around that worker. You can move up the different levels or down the different levels, and the goal basically is to get to the third level, kind of that peak area there. So you're kind of trying to outmaneuver your opponents and maybe cap off these buildings so that they cannot get to the top layers. But yeah, so it's a pretty straightforward game, easy to learn, but they've thrown in a lot of um, new god, or they have an abundance of new gods here, so you can have a unique power, game-breaking power for your player, which is one of my favorite things in the game. Without that, I don't think it's worth owning, since it is a pretty abstract game, but
Mhm.
once they add those in there, just a unique game every single time with all the different, I'm not sure exactly how many, dozens of different gods and combos, but
Mhm.
that adds a lot for me. And it looks like, so yeah, this is the Riddle of the Sphinx expansion, which is a campaign, 1 to 4 players. I think one of the big things here is bringing it up to that higher player count. I have no clue how that works. That plus the cooperative version.
Uh, I guess from my understanding, wasn't the riddle of the Sphinx, isn't that the cooperative piece?
Oh yeah, that's the cooperative, and I just saw 1 through 4 here,
Oh,
and then I was like surprised. I was like, wait a minute, it's 4 player, and I'm like, oh yeah, that is 4 player cooperative. Um, but yeah, so yeah, that I forget co-op expansion. How many? How many? I think it's 7 adventures, 7
hmm,
chapters in there, and it has a nice fold-out book, which makes me think of Gloomhaven Jaws of the Lion, which I really love that you just open the book up and start one of the scenarios just like that. Let's check it out here. Just going through there. The buildings are new, a new design compared to the original ones. They have just a little more detail, kind of a little more realistic, wear and tear on the edges, detail around the windows, which is really nice. I do have the original. If I were to get this, I don't know if I would just get the upgrade pack, which says use your buildings from your original game, or if you want to actually upgrade that and go all in. Not sure what I would choose, because these do look very nice. But yeah, it looks like it adds kind of, I think it's set a boss battle type thing. So you'd be battling the Sphinx, and you even get to roll a die, which is another thing that I would not have guessed for a Santorini game.
I would agree. But yeah, I think when I was looking at the, I like that it's a cooperative and somewhat of a campaign thing as well. But yeah, when I was looking at the pricing of stuff where you could upgrade to kind of the other like a upgrade kit, the pricing on that compared to just getting the other just brand new pack seemed like it. What was it, like $15 difference? I guess
Yeah.
I don't know if that seems worth it if you're using your original plastic
Yeah.
buildings. I guess outside of I guess a bigger box that maybe holds everything and kind of inserts. I don't know that it seems
Yeah.
worth that much more, but maybe
That's
maybe it
true.
is.
Because you have the deluxe edition for what it has here, $65, the expansion for $50, and an upgrade kit for $50, which is just 15 less than the base new game.
Which I
Which
guess
I
I don't
think,
know. I don't know how different the buildings are, if it is worth that or not. I have no idea.
yeah. So I think the upgrade, or I guess the upgrade would not. Let's see what the upgrade comes with.
But
But
yeah,
yeah, so
I
here's
would
a
just think no.
comparison of those. Not too different, but just a little extra detail here and here,
Mhm.
here and there,
But
rounded
then
corners. So you take the puncture wound risk, take that completely out of the game.
that's true. But yeah, it just makes me kind of wonder like then you could just maybe try to sell your copy for like even if you got $10, then you're just paying kind of 5 extra to upgrade it if you were going to upgrade it anyway, or
Yeah,
get the upgrade pack to get everything else. Um,
oh,
I think I would just try to sell
60.
my old copy, but you never know, I guess. But
Seriously.
I will say, Pepper,
Oh,
I
what?
am a little bit intrigued by this. I was more intrigued by it than I thought I would be when I saw that it was
Lots
more
of
of
them.
like a kind of a almost campaign looking thing as well as
Yeah.
not just cooperative play because I didn't really know what cooperative play really even meant in there, and I still don't know that I fully understand what's how it's going to work. But the fact that it's kind of got a story going along with
Yeah, it
it,
looks
kind of
like
a
you can
storybook
kind of
and stuff, uh,
gain
that's a little interesting to me. I'll say.
objectives and different things like that, and upgrades or something. It just looks really cool.
Let's see
Yeah,
if they
again,
got your comment on there at Board Game Geek rating 10 that you probably gave it. Wonder if they got your comment scrolling on there.
quite a 10. I have to play a game at least once a year to give it a rating. I don't think I've been able to do that with a hater such as yourself.
Wow.
But I, oh,
But no,
this
I will say
stage.
I'm interested. I'm definitely interested in this cooperative mode.
Yep.
I just Santorini, the
I
base
just,
game, I it's just not something that works that well with my mind. Even I do like you said, I do like the variable player powers, and I think without that, then it would really kind of be like it wouldn't be one that I would
yeah.
probably ever play because it's just it'd be kind of like chess where it's
Oh,
kind of just I don't know having to know how to do things kind of proper way to trap people and stuff.
yeah.
And I don't think I quite have that mind for this game personally.
So thoughts on these synth cards, and if we should see that in more games. PVC-based
Oh, I didn't even
stocks,
see this.
spent years perfecting. It feels and shuffles like a regular card. So I have had some more plastic cards, but they definitely felt more like plastic. But if they
Mhm.
say it feels like a card, and if it give,
I'd have to feel it, but
yeah,
I don't know.
I mean, it just looks weird. I don't
Although,
like
do you do a lot
watching
with these
this.
cards?
This is terrifying. No, you don't. But they say can be bent and spilled on, and it will spring back like new. You can play how you like,
Oh, yeah,
sleeve free. So if you like to just bend them as you're thinking,
that's true. If you just like to
roll them up
bend,
and spill your drink on the cards, dunk it in your drink, you can do that now.
there you go.
But yeah, it looks like they've got some things unlocked here and more to be revealed, and I assume a lot more to be unlocked. So yeah, like I said, it is you can get the upgrade kit for about 50, the expansion for about 50, and the base deluxe new version for 65. Early delivery, the timeline will fulfill April to May 2024 is what they're shooting for. That's a ways out.
Mhm.
I mean, it just seems like it should be faster because it's a game we know, but it
Right.
doesn't mean that they aren't going to have to print it all. Still
Mhm.
is a new production, but
Right.
I hope it
Yeah.
it should. That seems realistic enough.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if they did it a little early. I mean, Roxley Games does a pretty good job, so uh, I think it'll probably be a pretty solid version of the game if you get it.
Yep. So, yeah,
But at the same time, it seems like a decent amount of money though for Santorini. I guess I don't know what the base game's going for right now.
yeah, I'm not sure, but yeah, just for the new edition and the expansion being about over $100. I don't know if it feels like that kind of game, but like you
Right.
said, bringing something totally new to the table with that cooperative campaign. Currently, for me, that's not enough to get it, since we do not play Santorini enough.
hmm
Uh, but I definitely do want to try this at some point.
hmm I could
Um,
see that expansion possibly, after it finally delivers and stuff, kind of in 2024 sometime. I'm sure it'll be sold on, I would think, like Game Nerds or Miniature Market or something for maybe cheaper.
yeah,
Um,
yeah, that's true.
then we'll see at that point.
Yeah.
But yeah,
But yeah, so yes, it is definitely funded well. 456,000, 4,000 backers. So it's doing well. Doesn't
we
need
got
our
2 weeks.
business. Yes,
Yeah.
still 2 weeks to go. Next up, we have Terminus, which is also broke
Also doing
100,000.
also doing pretty well. Almost 2,500 backers. It's pretty solid.
That's crazy because I have not heard of this company. Inside Up Games.
I haven't heard of this company, Pepper. They've got one of the hottest games right now.
Well, I don't know it.
Earth.
Earth. Oh, Earth.
They
That's
came
true.
out with Earth, so
Oh, well,
and that
then,
is one that we did not buy Earth, but we played it a couple times on Board Game Arena, and I've enjoyed it quite a bit. So
yes, I
that
have as well.
I think that's the main thing that has me a little bit excited about this one. But overall, I would say that
Metal
there's
coins. First thing on the list.
nothing quite in this game that hooks me. I would say at first glance.
Yeah, at first glance, well, if you just look at the board, this is kind of a route building game. I think I don't know too much about it, but
hmm
yeah, building these routes, putting these stations out, and I think this is a kind of a rondel type action selection. So with these white slots
hmm
here, kind of take your pawn and move it around there, and take these actions in these colored areas. Which that does have me interested because I am a fan of kind of the rondel mechanism for action selection. So that's
hmm
cool. But just what you're using it to do, kind of, I guess, what do we got here? Yeah, placing out on the board, upgrading your player, I assume, and kind of
hmm
managing your resources and your supply.
Right.
Doesn't overly excite me.
Yeah.
It all looks solid, but nothing
You,
really stands
but
out.
I guess, do you care that Vitel Lacerda had a comment on the game? If you scroll up just a little bit.
Oh yes, that scared me off from this 100%.
Vidal Lacerda makes heavy games. I don't think we've played any of them yet.
Don't think
I'd
so.
like to play. I'd like to play one at some point, but
On Mars,
they're definitely
Lizzo,
intimidating. So that makes me a little worried because his games are notoriously heavy, which
yes.
I don't know if that means that this will be, because
Yeah, he's
I would
calling
say
this.
Earth has a lot going on, and
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't think it's the same designer, but maybe it is. I'm not 100% sure. But I would say Earth's got a lot going on, but I wouldn't say that it's like um,
yeah,
complex once you know kind of what's going
yeah.
on. So I would
I
hope that
agree.
maybe this game's got the same kind of thing to it.
Yeah, yeah. Hopefully. But it looks nice. I do like the look of the board and kind of the colors not being too. I mean, they're not too flashy. Um, kind of
Yeah.
muted a little bit.
Yeah, it's a
It is a
little too
little.
muted and busy for me.
Oh
I
yeah,
think that's why it doesn't quite pull me in.
yeah,
But I guess I don't know what I would have done differently.
yeah. A bunch of wooden components, pretty basic shapes. I mean, I don't know
Mhm.
what upgrades they've. Maybe there's different ones, but just some discs, some cubes, some classic Catan roads here. Um, More discs and
Some
some meeples,
rails,
which are
Pepper.
nice
Those are
rails.
rails.
The rails. Yes. Ooh, a scoring pad. Nice. Nice to include that. I was gonna say, like, who doesn't include a score? But I think forget what game. I think we do have one game that should have had a scoring pad that didn't. I forget which one it
I think
is.
a couple of the Garfo games, that
Uh,
is one of the things they lack sometimes. It's no scoring pad, but
Ooh, I do like.
could do that math in our head, right?
Yeah, yeah. I do like that these little markers here. Metal coins are metal coins, but I do like these.
Wow.
I want so I just want those 5. I like those player colors, and they are metal, and I love them. How to play, take some actions, pay some money, pick up some cubes, throw them over there. Amazing. That's what I have to say. But it
Yeah,
looks
no.
like it's putting different actions out on the board. And taking
Mm-hmm.
those actions kind of made me think of Whistle Mountain a little bit.
Oh,
Um, just kind of building the different actions, but at the same time, I don't. I think that's a lot more unique in how it does it, just from what I'm seeing here.
mhm.
Just with kind of the polyomino and rising water of that game. Achievements, I assume, that you can work towards. Um,
Yeah,
yeah,
just something
just
about this to me that just has an older look to it, but
oh yeah,
and kind of just cubes and kind of the old, like you said, the Catan like roads, and it's kind of not fair for me. Not saying anything about the actual gameplay itself, but just I feel like so many board games spoil us now with such great stuff that just almost seems really basic. Like,
yeah,
oh, okay, if you're gonna go on Kickstarter, you gotta. It's not really fair, but it feels like
yeah.
you gotta kind of okay. We're gonna make some special wooden pieces for this, or screen print them, or something. Oh, there's some screen printing there.
Oh,
Okay,
there we go. There we go.
it will be upgraded to full color. Okay, so
Thicker
some unique
cardboard
shapes.
token.
Okay, so I can get behind that. I should have looked at that a little closer.
Right.
Yeah,
So
I
yeah,
do like that they're
the
doing
rails.
shapes.
I like those rails being shaped there.
I agree.
Okay.
That
Now
has me
that
a little more interested now that I'm seeing
screen
this.
printing on there too. Oh my goodness. Can
I
we hit
take
this
back
next one?
everything I said,
He takes it all back.
but and that's a fair thing, I guess I would say. But at the same time, um, I think then you almost need to be updating that part of your page too.
Yeah.
But I've never run a Kickstarter, so I'm not saying that's an easy thing
Probably
to do.
hard. Probably hard.
But but that way, when I'm looking at the stuff initially, I'm like, okay, well, you know, maybe it says Kickstarter only on those ones or something. That way, I know, okay, well, if I get it now, I'm gonna get some upgraded stuff that's
Yeah.
gonna look a lot better,
Yeah.
maybe than that original stuff. But
Oh boy, they're going through all the components here in
oh
this
boy,
spreadsheet. So it'll be about 56 US dollars for the
isn't
base
bad.
edition, which now with those, I assume, upgraded bits, it's looking a little better.
Hmm.
Not a huge price. We've definitely backed more expensive things. This one has 2,000 backers, 2,202. Couldn't be. They need 20 more there. But yeah,
Yeah,
estimated delivery March 2024. I think they should be able to hit that. Not too ambitious. And it's just that. And then the retailer pledge as well as the
yeah.
100
So
pledge. So
I do like there's only one
Yep.
thing, and that then I can get by, and it's a relatively decent price.
Yeah.
So I can see it that way. Then doing kind of unlocking those as stretch goals. Really, I'm guessing at the beginning they were hoping to really do that version of the game with the screen printed and all that stuff, but just kind of doing those stretch goals to keep people kind of coming back to the page and looking at it and stuff, which is fair.
Yeah.
But yeah, it looks interesting enough. I think if I had the chance, I would try the game. Definitely since Earth, I really enjoyed quite a bit. But I'd say backing it wise, I still don't know that doesn't really have anything specific for me. I think that really makes it stand out because it looks a lot like you're triggering some actions to get some resources to do that.
Yeah.
Then building around. But
I probably wouldn't back it, especially with the Lacerda factor there. Just pushed me off. I'm
being
like,
an
okay, this is a
extremely
little too
heavy
much. If
game,
he says it's difficult,
like a 4.8,
choose.
and weight on it. But no.
So probably pass, but definitely another one to try somewhere down the line. Next up, we have Vedur. Not sure exactly how to pronounce it, but yeah. So this is a action
A game
selection
about predicting the
deck
weather.
builder game. Icelandic weather. So I think this is actually part of a trilogy, which later on they say you can add in those ones as well. This one is also
got less than 100
funded.
backers.
Less than 100 backers, so smaller project. 12 days to go, but they have funded, so that's great. Just what are your thoughts on that name? Like I had a hard time. I was like, is that a Zach name or not?
I don't think so. Not quite. It doesn't roll off the tongue. It's not. Yeah, I'm not really even sure how to pronounce it. But yes, it didn't pull me in, and I'm like, oh, I got to get it. Although maybe I think the look of it did just a little bit. Something about that look of that cover.
Oh yeah, the cover. Yeah. The board giving me feelings of Endless Winter, one of our few winter themed games or winter setting games. And in this one, it's got two variants, a basic game, advanced game, which just adds a few more complicated things, as well as a semi-cooperative version. But yeah, in this one, I think you have these different slots on the boards with these weather tiles, which are you're trying to predict that weather by playing cards from your hands and trying to match these symbols on these cards. So like, yeah, you play a sun, you match one of these suns, you put the token out there, and once that's completed, you gain points based on the cards that you contributed, the amount in that top right corner. So that's pretty straightforward. The advanced version has additional action cards and kind of a way to gain the cards as well, which costs you points in the advanced version. So don't know exactly how that plays, but yeah, pretty simple game.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of getting. It seemed pretty simple. This is another one that I don't know that really had too much that drew me in. Made me want to back this one. But I think if it does look interesting to you, the fact that it has so few backers, I would, if you're interested, I would definitely probably back it on here because I don't know how readily available it'll be after the fact. I guess I'm not 100% sure. Maybe it will be. But yeah, I think for me, it just, this one looked to me like it was lacking a little bit or wasn't. I think I usually like a little more meat on the game. But I could be wrong about that. It's just kind of from the look of it, it didn't look like it was extremely heavy. And I was wondering about replayability and stuff, but I could be wrong on that.
Yeah, that's always tough. And I think a lot of these ones that kind of also come with a possibility of additional games to add on. Like this one has the whole Nordic Heritage Collection. So this one you're rolling dice, and based on symbols, you'll claim spots on these boards, get coins, based on, I think, the colored spot that you claimed, and just gaining points in different ways. And this one, you're placing tiles out there to fulfill certain patterns to get points as well. So three pretty straightforward games, which all looked fun. And I think we've kind of had different ones in the past that have been kind of lighter groups of games, which sucks because I don't know if they're enough to get to actually back and add to the collection. But also, since they are so straightforward and it's easier to grasp and actually think about playing the game, which makes me actually want to play the games.
More likely to get to the table and stuff too the first time. Whereas
Yeah.
some of the heavier ones, it's like kind of got to be in the mood to get, read the rule book, get through that first, that first game, which usually just takes a little bit longer. Whereas, these ones, like you said, with things that are a little bit more approachable, sometimes you'll get to play those multiple times because they're maybe a little bit shorter games too. So you can just, if you're teaching someone the game and then they really like it, then you're like, oh well, we can play it again because it's quick and simple maybe.
Yeah. So it looks like if you go get this copy, you pay $28, or else the different pairings for $53, $53, $56, $56, or all three of them for $74. Which, if I did go in on it, didn't have any of those past editions, I would probably end up getting all three. I think that's a pretty good deal for. I think they all have pretty nice components, pretty nice artwork, and these are all magnetic boxes as well, which is something that I like quite a bit. It's the cat's meow.
Oh
They're
boy,
a magnetic box.
not the Sphinx's meow.
I should have said that. Yes. But yeah, so they got possible stretch goals to hit. So if you are interested in those,
Cool.
definitely go
Back
search
it now.
right now. Yes. So these are estimated to deliver November. So this year, November 2023. But yeah, decently soon, but it's not like they're huge games. So looks like it has a good amount of content as well.
And they're not. It doesn't look like it will probably be like a large amount that they're making. So
Yep, that's true.
It should be kind of a quick production and stuff. I guess I don't know in the past how many they've typically sold of games and stuff, if they've had huge production runs or whatever. But I think that seems reasonable.
Yeah. So another one that hoping to get onto some website to play it at some point, maybe Tabletopia, BGA. Not sure if it will be. Would another few games that I'd like to try. It's so hard, just realizing more and more how few games that you can actually back. So I want to play them all.
Yes. That's true.
Next up, we have Thorgal, the board game. Thorgal. Okay, I was thinking there's by Portal Games, which we do own just one of their games. And that is.
I like it quite a bit.
I like it quite a bit as well. Predaporte, another one.
Big liar.
I like it a lot. I wouldn't have gotten it for you if I didn't. I would have been like,
you didn't like it?
I was just like, this looks cool. If I didn't think it looked cool, you would have never seen it.
Oh boy.
But yeah, this one is 290% funded, 87,000 euros, almost 1,000 backers. Goal reached in 1 hour 25 minutes. But yeah,
I will say when I saw this cover, I actually got a little excited. I guess this is based on a quicker storybook type thing.
Comic book, maybe. I'm not sure. I haven't actually read anything, but some of the things kind of look comic booky. They have that style to them, so I assume there must be some comic book that this is based on. It's making me think of Rambo here, actually.
Yes, very much like Rambo. But yeah, this to me like kind of an interesting little game. I don't know. There's just a bunch of different things kind of coming together, story-driven, cooperative type game that
Yeah. Okay, so this is one with
doing
7
scenarios.
scenarios. Nice.
No. Yeah, and I thought a lot of the stuff looked pretty cool. I like the artwork in this one.
Yeah, yeah.
Probably, I'm trying to think so far. Probably like the artwork on this one the best out of the ones we've looked at so far.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, I I'm kind of interested by the polyomino type thing
Oh,
that they're
yeah.
doing. I still don't know if I fully understand how all the polyominoes are used or how that works into the game, but I
Yeah.
really like the artwork on them, and I see that they're possibly upgrading to wooden
Wooden
polyomino
ones.
pieces, which I
Yeah,
don't
very
know if we do we have
quickly.
any games that have that. I'm surprised that that
Uh,
isn't a thing because there's a lot of
we
polyomino
have
games.
plastic ones in Project
Mhm.
L, but that's the closest thing that I can think of. Which I would
Mhm.
just think with all the polyomino games that are out there, and people love deluxifying, that would be a huge thing. But
Mhm.
surprisingly, yeah, this is the first time that I've seen wooden polyomino tiles. And that one, when I saw that wooden polyomino tiles, my interest just increased like maybe 300-400% for the game.
Mhm. Yeah, and
Uh,
it's got cool artwork on those as well. It's just the combo
yeah,
of those things is it looks very cool. It doesn't
yes,
that doesn't actually mean anything about the game though, is
yeah,
the thing. But
yeah, it's true.
and I wonder if there's a
Fun.
reason why people haven't done wooden polyomino bits or none that I really know of. Maybe
Maybe
it's because the pieces
less,
don't fit together,
like
more likely to
seriously,
be messed up, possibly.
yeah, maybe not as much give, could get stuck together.
Hmm.
Possibly, I guess we'll see. Yeah, kind of a storybook, making me think of a game that I haven't played, Sleeping Gods. Um,
Mm,
which having that to be as Sleeping Gods is cooperative as well. That's another tie.
true.
So I can say without a doubt that this kills Sleeping Gods, having not played it even once.
Wow, that's a bold claim there.
Ooh, they take it. The different
Yeah, it
characters.
looks
Yeah.
like it might be more approachable than Sleeping Gods, so that could be a good thing. Yeah, and the characters look pretty good, solid miniatures. Like I said, I like the look of that artwork,
Yeah.
wherever that's coming from.
Yeah.
But
Giving me from far away, these player boards, especially this one, kind of gives me vibes of like Hadrian's Wall. I think just kind of the tones of this one, kind of the warrior aspect of it, makes me think of that. But yeah, I'm interested because the polyominoes can
the
kind of
artwork from that, or
just the kind of characters here. It's kind of the color scheme of the skin and the green. Otherwise, it's mostly just Chris here. That does
Mhm,
make me think
mhm.
that Ceylones don't really remind me of that much. But yeah, it is interesting. Ooh, dual layered boards. That's the cat's meow, the Sphinx meow. But you have these like wound areas, which is where you can place those polyomino tiles, I think, otherwise onto some of these terrain cards.
Mm.
Which is, I don't know if I've heard much of dual use, multi use polyomino tiles. But it appears that they have that in this game, and apparently there's a unique action selection mechanism. I didn't quite understand it from the little I saw of it, but I think you have these tokens that are underneath the different action
Oh,
cards.
yeah,
But I do like these dice a lot.
yeah. And I think there's something about too, like if you activate it, you activate all or something, everything to the left or something like that,
First
with those
player
action
marker.
tokens.
Interesting.
Which sounded interesting as well. Um, so yeah, I think overall this one looks pretty interesting. It's probably the one I would be most interested in so far,
Yeah, yeah. I think it
personally.
definitely feels the most unique. Like it's going to feel different from another game in our collection. Where all the other
Mhm,
ones, especially Santorini, it's literally just another game in the line.
mhm.
Um, this one feels wow. I wonder if that's the actual box size there. That man is hugging. Hopefully not.
Massive, massive, too many bones size box.
But, yeah,
It's not gonna
lots
fit
of
on your shelf, folks.
lots of
Although I
art.
think Too Many
Well,
Bones is actually redoing their box or something.
ooh.
to make it
Are they gonna do
smaller.
that?
I think. I don't know. Maybe I'm remembering that wrong.
Oh boy, and there is shipping. Got all the different pledges.
For some reason, I was looking at the group pledge. I'm like, oh my gosh, 100.
But yeah, this looks like for us be 20 to 30, mid 20s euros for shipping there. Not sure when with this. Not as familiar with the Game Found site here. I don't think
I can't
I
remember
go.
if you go to the actual pledge piece. Although this, I usually
Oh
look
yeah,
at it on my phone, so it's a little bit different. But I think that's
right
where it usually says it.
Oh, your pledge?
Hmm?
Under
I
your
don't think it
pledge?
says. No, keep going up. I think. Oop.
Well, on the right here. Okay, 85
Yeah.
euro. Okay, the box. Our
Yeah,
face
maybe go into
screen.
that box. I don't know. I don't know.
But yeah, it looks like
Yeah, I
85
will say it is harder to.
euros.
I don't know exactly where it all says on Game Pound.
Your pledge. But yeah, nothing. Okay.
Who knows where?
Here it is. So 85
Yeah,
euros.
that's what I meant.
Group pledge. That's a bit more. A bit more. You can get 6 of them. Nice. Do you have 6 friends or 5 friends and yourself who are all interested in owning their own copy of this? Then
That's
yes.
true.
We
If you do,
we
does it
only
say on
play
there?
solo. It doesn't say like a
No.
retail.
Usually, I thought it said on there for a date, but it doesn't look like I see it.
But yeah, so it doesn't look like there's any addition. I guess these are the only add-ons currently.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think if you're getting the game,
I would get the wooden
you gotta
polyamino.
get the wooden polyamino tiles, and why not throw on the companion cards too? But yeah, this is another one that I don't know. So it's 7 scenarios. They don't tie into a campaign, so you can just play them one off. And I don't know what all's in them or how replayable they are.
Yeah, I'm not
So I
sure.
don't know if it needs more than that, but it definitely does have a lot of interesting things. Still, I don't think I would back it just yet. It's another one that I would love to try sometime, but just I'm just not sure. But I do really like the polyominoes. Don't know exactly how it works, but I do like it. Put them up there, roll the dice. I assume that determines something with the polyominoes.
The dice look pretty cool too.
Yeah. And then also having it be completely cooperative, which it seems like there's a lot going on for being a cooperative, which I guess, yeah, just very complicated. With polyominoes, different actions, giving me feelings of viticulture world, not gameplay wise, just being a cooperative game with all these different things going on. Instead of just, fight a bad guy together.
Right. Yeah. Could be interesting, but yeah, I don't think I would quite back it yet either. Personally, but I'm interested to see how it does and how people receive it once it does end up delivering.
Yeah, for sure. On to one that who knows you might have backed already. He does like to drop these surprises on us from time to time. I know you've got.
I did not yet, but I may. So this is a Stand the Man game, Nova Roma. This is his company. I think it's the second game that they've made. I did back, and we received the first one that they made, which is Resurgence. That one is a very solid game. I think it was even better than I had expected, and I think the quality of everything in it was pretty solid. I would say maybe the only thing was that they used a non-standard box size. So maybe it could have been. It works, but
it's good with
I think the board is a little tight in there. That's my biggest complaint. But other than that, it was a solid production. This one's by Stan Kradomski, who also did Lock Up, Endless Winter, that Resurgence, and then the other one, Rurik, Dawn of Kiev. Yep. I think he's done a lot of. I think it shows him later on. He's done quite a few games, and I think a lot of them have been successful, and all of them or most of them feel very different. And I think This
Yeah,
one has a
that's
little
true.
bit different feel as well.
Yeah.
I I
It's
probably shouldn't have said what I said before because this uh how I said like it, some of those other ones felt like samey to kind of other games and stuff. Because at the end of the day, this one is probably a lot of kind of getting resources and using those resources to do things and stuff.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
but
that's true.
there's something about this that hooks me that feels a little bit cool. It kind of has a, I don't know if you'd say an inverse target feel to it, where you're placing kind of workers in this grid, in these grid
Yeah.
spaces, and then they take the action um, on the top of that line and the side of that row or whatever, the column and row.
Oh,
Uh, it takes both of those actions, and depending on if you already had workers in that row or column, this action could get stronger. So I thought that seemed pretty cool. I don't know
oh,
that'd really be worker placement or if it's just kind of a interesting action selection. I think it's more of that, but
yeah,
I know sometimes they get kind of lumped together. Sometimes worker placement, action selection, kind of similar, but
yeah, yeah.
different. But I think there's kind of that on the main board, and then I think your personal board you can also do something like that for production.
Oh,
I
yeah.
believe right
Oh,
there as well. Uh, yeah, and obviously the bearded legend himself, Samicho's artwork. I always love that, and it really gets me thinking that this is going to be a fun, crunchy Euro because the Garfield games, like we mentioned earlier, uses a lot of his artwork, so that always gets me interested. I'm trying to think to myself if he ever went out and because it seems like all the ones I know that he's done artwork for have typically been Euro games and crunchier
oh,
ones.
yeah.
Makes me interested how people would react if he all of a sudden did more of like a Ryan Lockett game where it's more of a story driven thing, got a storybook and stuff. If that would just not feel right, if there wasn't really too much Euro-ness about it,
I
if that'd be
think that could
deceiving.
work.
I don't know.
I think it would feel more wrong if he did like a very light game, like almost a party-ish game. I think that would feel much more out there. So actually, I think it would work in like a Lockett type of game.
Mhm.
I just don't know if it feels right because when I scroll up and I look at board, even though it does look different than most of his work, just kind of the tones, but it still feels like the Miko. This is like if he did viticulture right here.
Oh, yep.
Um,
I would agree. That one does look a little bit like Architects, some of the stuff in Architects,
yeah,
which he also did. But
the
uh,
cover does not feel like him. Like I would not have guessed that's him. I don't know if it is. I assume it is, but that does
I think
not
it is.
feel.
That character looks kind of like his, but
Yeah, I
a
guess.
little different, a little bit
Yeah,
different.
yeah, it just
Um,
looks slightly different, but it's just weird. I'm so used to him doing like a Shem Phillips design. That's what I think.
right.
Just the pairing. So it
Mhm.
just feels wrong to have him outside of that to me.
That's
So
fair.
oh, this is just like a knockoff Garfield game. When
No,
maybe it is.
I think the components all look pretty good.
Yeah.
I do like the artwork on the board and stuff. I don't know, it doesn't look that lively, but it looks like there's a little bit more detail in some of the areas, maybe.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think I do like the board.
Got some
Uh,
ship
and I
movement.
really like the um, player boards quite a
Yeah.
bit. It does give me a viticulture
Yeah.
type feel to it.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm
but
seeing
yeah,
all these
I think
tracks. Ooh, boy.
I do like tracks in games too.
And
That
these
was another thing that
cards.
drew
This
me
is
in.
feeling like a Garfield game right here.
But yeah, there's a lot of that type of feel to it, and that's probably why I'm most. I would say this one out of all of them this week, this is the one that if I do back one, it'll likely be this one. Uh, this will probably be my
Yeah.
favorite one. It's just it looks interesting, but at the end of the day, I can't say for sure that it wouldn't feel kind of like a lot of the games that we have,
Yeah.
because it does probably still use a lot of those Euro-y, so it'll be a matter of whether or not it actually, kind of those mechanisms do make it feel
Yeah.
different. But yeah, I think so far all of his games have felt different from
Yeah.
most of what we've gotten.
Yeah, they have. Like you
So
said, played a surprising amount of his. He just kind of showed up, and I think Lockup was probably the first one we played.
Oh yeah,
Got Rurik.
which is a very interesting game, and
yeah,
it's a longer game.
very
Well, for
unique.
us, AP.
Yeah. Yeah.
Analysis paralysis.
Rurik as well has this very unique action system. Resurgence is quite unique as well. So then, Endless Winter as well. They all feel totally different. Where something like the Garfield games all do kind of feel like they have some similar things. His do usually seem to feel quite different. I'm not as interested in it. I knew that going into this, you would be much more interested. But it just looks like a lot going on.
That's fair. I guess, do you like the look of the artwork and components, or do they not really draw you in too much?
Like these screen printed meeples, I'm not a fan of how they look.
I don't know.
Just something about them.
Yeah, there's kind of a chunkiness look to them that I don't know that I love.
Yeah,
I think since those are what you're going to be using to kind of place in those things to activate your actions, I kind of feel like it will work, sort of. But we'll see if they end up feeling too big. That was one of the things I was wondering about.
Yeah. I do like these resources or whatever, and the boats. Those are really nice.
I don't know if I've seen a horse head token before.
No, I'm not. Yeah, nice detail. Got the mane there. Okay, that rock is looking pretty
wait
black.
a minute, that's supposed to be a pig. Oh, okay. Well, I would maybe redesign it and use a different color. Yeah, the rock looks different too, but
and the cover,
I'm excited about this one.
Not a fan of the cover. I think it could have worked, kind of the idea of it, but not a fan of it, especially the title here. I don't know, having kind of the laurels for the and having it in both of them.
Mr. Seven Wonders hater.
In both of them, though. Having it in both of them. I don't like that. That's weird. It's overkill. Overkill.
The more you hate it, the more it makes me think that I should get it.
I absolutely love it. I love those things.
What do you have against the man?
The whole
Man,
thing.
the man.
The whole thing. The whole font should have been that style. I absolutely love it. Kept him from backing it. But yeah, it is pledged. It has met its goal. So, and obviously being Stan and Miko, I'm sure this one will be available in the future. And interested to see what people think, because I've liked his past games, although and probably none of those would have overly excited me beforehand, and I have enjoyed all of them. So this will probably be the same once I eventually play it.
That's true, because Resurgence, I would have thought you'd like the apocalyptic theme, but at first you were definitely a little hesitant, and you seem to enjoy that one enough. I don't know that any of them are your favorite, and I don't know that any of them are my favorite games, but I feel like all of them that I've played of his have been at least good to potentially getting to great for me.
Yeah, I agree.
But, I don't know for Resurgence, I don't know how available it is. I think they have it available from themselves, but I don't know that I've ever seen it really kind of out there on any websites like that. So
and as
something to think about. I think they still have copies, but I'm guessing you'll be paying probably the same price as it would be here if you get it later.
And as well, this is $59 for the base, $79 if you throw in a neoprene mat, and aiming for December 2023. But only
They'll probably be able to hit it, because I don't think they have any stretch goals or anything. So
Yep. And on to the big boy, Zombicide, White Death. Not Black
Almost
Plague.
12,000. Almost 12,000 backers.
It's a CMON project, so of course this is going to break $1 million.
It's crazy. It's crazy how and it's not even like I think the craziest thing to me for these CMON projects is they do the same game over and over for a lot of them, and then they just do slight tweaks or whatever, kind of re-theme or slightly different things. Because like Marvel United, they've had 3 campaigns. They've all been really successful. And that's just been pretty much different characters with maybe a few different mechanisms,
Yeah.
very slight changes. They've had I don't know how many Zombicides. And actually, we haven't played Zombicide, so I don't really know anything about it. I know a lot of people do like Zombicide, but it's crazy how they can have. I would think they have to have 4 or 5,
Because
maybe more versions of Zombicide, and
they
it's
have
still doing this
Zombicide,
well.
and they went like in Vikings and stuff with Black Plague, Green Horde, and there was a Western one, and I think there's another one, and then now there's this.
Marvel Zombies.
Oh yeah, Marvel. Yep.
Um,
Oh boy, there's a lot.
and
Again,
they just keep
not knowing any of them. I wouldn't think that they would be different enough. I would think at least one would replace the other,
right
type of deal. But they keep coming back. I don't.
just
I mean,
like zombies.
They will not die. Only 1 hour playtime. That's interesting. I would not have thought that for this. People do compare it to Cthulhu Death May Die. I forget if it was Board Game Co. kind of said that was his choice between the 2 games, Death May Die, which kind of led to me, because obviously I'm a fan of zombies and apocalypse themed things, being a big Walking Dead fan, and had my interest, but just seemed like possibly a little too much, and Death May Die seemed a little more streamlined, so we didn't go that route. That's another one that's released season after season and has made a ton of money and even taken a lot of ours. It looks like the Frozen Fortress Pledge, which I believe is just the base game here. It comes with all these minis. Everyone loves minis. You gotta go bigger and badder.
The Khan Abomination.
Going to be $110, which is a lot. But look at those dashboards. For your characters, slots
Those
for
are
all
pretty
the
cool.
pegs. They are pretty cool.
Where is that for Cthulhu Death May Die?
Need to get some
They're
overlays.
coming out next time. Once they get to their
They
6th, 7th campaign, it'll be those boards. No.
Some double-sided tiles. Another winter-themed game. Go into the cold. White Death. Not sure who these guys are. Limited edition survivors. Like some metal band. I'm not sure.
It does kind of look like that.
Yes.
But yeah. I would say I do like I've been interested in just because I've heard people like it. And I think Board Game Code does still like this one.
Yeah, I think it's still.
I think he said that he
10.
was going to probably back this immediately, and I'm pretty sure he already has a bunch of Zombicide. So, yeah, I haven't looked into it enough. I think it's just because of the price tag, and I don't know if I did get into it, if I would try maybe a set that's been out there that'll probably be a little bit cheaper. But I will say kind of the look of these miniatures does have me a little bit interested, and I kind of like this kind of White Death wintry feel along with kind of a more medieval feel as well, and kind of that it's almost like a great wall that you're trying to defend type thing. So I do like that feel.
See a video and I'm like, oh, that's what I want from the Great Wall. I haven't played the Great Wall yet, but I'm like, oh, that kind of epic battling is what I'm looking for.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, got a lot of stuff to add on. The Eternal Empire for
pretty soon you're gonna be a $400, $500, $600.
Crossfire Pack $35. Warlords of the Rising Sun, getting the Rising Sun fans in there for $25.
That's true. That's their game too, isn't it?
Warlords of the Blood Rage, $25. Berserker Walkers, $20. So lots of add-ons, of course. Lots of coverage.
The Ankh Warriors to come out.
This cover, always from far away, it makes me think of Bunny Kingdom. I don't know why. That's just what comes to mind.
I knew there was a cover that it made me think of. That is what it is. It is Bunny Kingdom.
It's just kind of got that kind of orange or red title with the white letters, blue sky, some green grass, even though it's a way different subject matter.
That's true. I was just about to say Winter Kingdom, but I'm almost I feel like that makes me think of, isn't there a Kingdom Builder
Oh
where
yeah,
the
that's it.
winter version, is it called Winter
It's
Kingdom?
it
No.
might be it might be called Winter Kingdom. That
I don't
seems
remember if it
slightly
is.
wrong,
It
but
does seem slightly wrong.
it's something with winter. We'll look at all these stretch goals. This is definitely the Marvel United, the come on style here. All the different characters. Oh my goodness. More and more minis, minis, minis.
And
A
I'm sure
bit
there will still be
much.
a lot more to come.
And more options. I thought we already covered the optional buys. The things you can add on. Now here's optional buys.
No, this must be given a little bit
Yeah.
more look into what's in each pack.
How to choose optional buys. Get them all. Give us everything. So shipping. Okay, we got it split up in the US even. So that's it's gonna be a lot. Yeah.
Hmm.
So Europe is the cheapest here. Most states in the US are $30 to $40.
I think that's been about what they've charged for their recent campaigns. So I think it's kind of been similar for the last few.
Yeah.
Um,
So
and I
yeah,
think it might be at least, I guess I don't know for sure, but I think it might be going down a little bit from their highs that they were charging, because I think there was one campaign they had where they had set a certain amount and then came back and asked for more money. That's been probably
yeah.
a few campaigns back now, but I know a lot of people are upset about that. But I
Yeah.
think now they're just kind of getting the right amounts up front.
Yep. Yep. So yeah, I might get something Zombicide in the future, but I think I'm gonna want to wait and watch some definitive everything ranking, get a lot of opinions on
Mhm.
which version is best because they are very expensive, and I think I'd probably just want to stick to a
Mhm.
one
I would
set
agree.
plus expansions. I don't know how compatible they all are. Maybe they can all be
I'm not sure.
mixed together. Not sure. Definitely have to look into it, but I think for now, Cthulhu does provide kind of what I would want
Mhm.
from this type of game.
That's true. So yeah, I don't know that I need this in my collection, but yeah, definitely. If you're a big fan of Zombicide, let us know in the comments below which one is the best, or which one you think is the best anyway, and let
Yeah,
us know why. Or maybe if you've also played Cthulhu Death May Die, let us know if you also liked that one or if they felt different enough.
yeah.
But
Right. So of
yeah,
all these, I'm probably most interested in maybe the Santorini Cooperative or Thorgal as well.
okay.
Either of those. I assume you're still probably the most into Nova Roma.
Yep, that would be the one that I would back, and probably will.
No,
I
yeah,
think they did a pretty good job on Resurgence, and yeah, I would definitely support them again. I think, and
yeah,
yeah, I haven't been disappointed by his designs yet, so
yeah.
I have yet to experience that disappointment. But no,
You're
I think that Torgal would be my other one that I'd be the most interested in. And if you did get the cooperative piece to Santorini, I think I'd be more likely to actually play Santorini.
yeah, yeah. I was thinking of here. I was going to say we're going to escape out of this week without actually dropping the money and having our money taken, but it looks like we will be for Nova Roma. And going into this, I was thinking, oh, Santorini Deluxe. I didn't pay much attention to it, but just that cooperative is pulling me in more and more every time I think about it. So we
And
might
it's a
end up,
ways out, so
yeah,
you,
we
you can wait too, and
might end up getting two of these. We don't know,
right. But yeah,
but
I think this one would be one that would be available after the fact.
yeah, for sure.
Because Roxley Games, I think, yeah,
Yeah,
they're a lot more likely to have it. I think out of all these, well, outside of Simon, maybe. Um, I would say they're probably the biggest company out of them, so they'd probably most likely have
yeah.
copies of this after the fact.
Ooh, you just reminded me, Roxley, as Skyrise, which is a game that we did back. I'm not sure how close that is to coming out. I'm guessing it's still a ways, but it's another one that you
Maybe at the door right
just
now.
reminded me of by saying their name. Can't
That was
wait.
good.
That's
Yeah,
before we film these, so it's a shout
that's
out to
true.
another game we've got coming.
That is true. But let us know in the comments below if there's anything that you're backing, if there's anything we should check out. I think it's kind of slowing down again. We've kind of been doing these every week for a little bit, but we'll see if next week if we will have enough to do more, or if it'll be another 2 weeks. But let us know what you think about these games, and yeah. But otherwise, we hope to see you on the next one. And as always, don't forget to keep on nibbling on our content.